Hey, what's going on everybody? This is G and I'm funkin' hungry. In this video is part 2 of the Dim Sim Kings collaboration. Now this collab is with Patrick from Patty Joe's Cooking. It's with Uncle Rolfus from the Rolfus channel. And of course, the legendary King of Tasmania himself, Taz Down Under. So in part 2, there's going to be a little bit more of a funkin' hungry, crazy creations. But before we get into the madness, let's take a quick look at the dim sims that I'm using in this video. So this is the Marathon King Dim Sims, and this one is the beef and pork flavour. So I'll leave the nutrition information on screen for you. I will also leave the ingredients on screen for you. I will quickly go through the ingredients because this is going to be a bit of a longer video because I'm going to do, a few different dishes with these dim sims. And hopefully it all works out. So if you haven't seen part 1, go check that out. I tried the chicken King Dim Sims. So in this one, and obviously in this one, it's the beef and pork. So the ingredients are cabbage, wheat flour, beef, 14%, wheat, starch, pork, 10%. Then you got water, carrot, salt, sugar, chili paste. So this one's going to be a little bit more spicy than the chicken. The chicken seemed to be like a little bit more onion-based. Speaking of onion, you've got some spring onion, you've got some onion, spices, flavour enhancer, 621, garlic and chili. Now, I don't believe the chicken had chili in it, so these are obviously going to be a little bit more spicy. So you can steam these, air fry them, barbecue, deep fry them, microwave them. I'm old school, so I just throw them in the oven. Here is the dim sim itself. We're going to try it dry, so don't go in dry, kids. Make sure that you get your lube. Yeah, I put some oil on this, that's what I mean. So I threw it in the oven for about 25 minutes. And they do look like a little bit white still, so just to give it a bit of colour, I did it to the last ones and it turned out okay. I brushed on a little bit of canola oil, then I threw it back in the oven for about 10 more minutes just to get it a nice sort of brown colour to them. Now I did let this cool down a fair bit, so it's ready to eat. Let's quickly get through this and try this, then I'll show you the crazy creations I've came up with. Alright, cheers. We'll try it by itself first, then I'll add a sauce to it. Cheers. Interesting, when I ate it, it does taste a fair bit like the chicken one at first. You taste, I guess, all the cabbage and the onion flavours and all the spices and stuff they add to it. It's fairly similar to the chicken. You definitely know it's a dim sim when you eat it. You recognise the flavour. Then it's interesting, you get hit with the pork and you get uppercut by the beef. So it ends on the two different meats. I'm gonna have to have another bite before I try it with the sauce. But yeah, you can see the carrots, you can see the onions, and so you can see all the carrots, the onions, the veggies, the cabbage and stuff like that. You can see the meats, they do look fairly similar, pork and beef, not a huge difference. Maybe just the sound they make, oink oink, moo moo. But yeah, absolutely delicious this is. Have another bite, I'll try it with the sauce, give it a rating, then we'll move on to the crazy creations. Cheers. So I'm going to give this the same rating I gave the chicken dim sims. They're both delicious. I was a bit worried that the beef and the pork wouldn't go well together, but they're perfect together. Absolutely delicious. Just as good as the chicken one. I can't really fault them. I can't really say which one I like better. I love them both. Maybe this one a little bit better because the chicken was quite onion heavy, but really if I had a choice of both, I wouldn't know what one to pick. If I just laid them all down, I'd probably have one of these and one of the chicken. You have one of my favourite hot sauces. Shout out to Byron Bay Chili Co. This is the Heavenly Habanero hot sauce with mango and lemon. Absolutely delicious and a great little company to support. It's a local company. I have reviewed this on my hot sauce playlist. Go check it out. Let's try some of this on my dim sum. It's quite a chunky sauce, this one. You can see as it comes out. Alright, let's try this with a hot sauce. I was going to try it with sweet chili, but I'm sweet enough as it is. Let's have a little spice in our life. Let's turn it into the spicy video. Cheers. Absolutely love this sauce. It does sort of, you know, like mask some of the dim sum flavour. But if you want a bit more flavour, you want a bit more heat, you know, it definitely has a bit of a burn, this one. If you're a bit of an amateur when it comes to chili, this one is not for you. For all you chili lovers and spice fans, give this a go. The only problem with this hot sauce, it's so small, you go through them so quickly. There's not going to be any left for Two Hangry's boyfriend Ron this time. Sorry, Ron. Cheers. So here's the first Phunken Hungry crazy creation with the Marathon King dim sims. This is the dim sum stew. So what did I do? To make it a bit quicker, easy, and you know, to help out the bank a little bit, I did use a tin soup. Now tin soup obviously can be pretty crap. So I added some mixed herbs, I added some garlic to it. I did dice up a potato into small little bite-sized pieces. I did boil that and I did throw them into the stew mix. I mean, it does have potato in this tin soup, but they always taste so bad, you know, mushy and just basically crap. I am going to have obviously some mushy ones, some fresh, nice potatoes in here. I did dice up a little bit of onion as well, and I did put that into the mix. And I did put some hot paprika. I did put some Gravox in it, so I put some gravy mix into this. I put some Vegeta into it. That's like a vegetable seasoning. I basically put all sorts of stuff in it. And I did add some Tesco's, which is a UK supermarket brand. I did put some brown sauce into this, because in my stews growing up, I always like to put some HP sauce into it. Unfortunately, I didn't have HP sauce. And in a perfect world, I would have made this from scratch, you know, using fresh beef and make a nice fresh stew. But, you know, we haven't got time for that. And who can afford to do that these days with inflation? But yeah, it would have been really nice to do, you know, like a fresh stew. And this is what I wanted Paddy Joe Cooking to do. And, sorry, Paddy, this is what I meant when I meant dim sum stew. I did like your video, but this is what I had in mind when I said dim sum stew. So the dim sum, I did cook in the oven. You can sort of see it here. I did put it in my good old clear glass bowl so you can sort of see what I'm doing. You can see the dim sum on top. But I did cook it in the oven. But my idea of the dim sum stew was using dim sums just like you would with dumplings. You know, dumplings that go into stew? So yeah, this is the Phunken Hungry Crazy Creation King Dim Sum Stew. Now I'm trying to show you without spilling any. Luckily that I did put some gravy mix and stuff into it, so it is a fairly, you know, chunky, thick sort of stew. But I'll come forward a little bit. I won't be in frame properly, but you know, Phunken Hungry, we're not professional here. I don't have a professional camera team. Obviously when I had this idea, I did want to do it from scratch with a fresh stew. And my idea was using the Marathon dim sims, but the smaller ones. I do a big pot of stew and I throw in a few of those small dim sims and sort of steam them and cook them. But anyway, enough talking, because I've still got a couple of other recipes or dishes to show you, which I'm actually still cooking because I'm not going to, you know, cook them all at once. Anyway, let's try it. The dim sum stew. So we'll try the stew first. Probably see it on camera a little bit. Man, this is hot and steaming. Woohoo! This is hot. But let's try some of the stew. I mean, it is tin stew, but I did jazz it up a bit. And when I did taste it when it was cooking, tasted a whole lot better than a tinned can stew. Yeah, let's try it. Definitely packs a punch. And I did add some more pepper into this, some black pepper. So I added garlic, black pepper, hot paprika, some mixed herbs. It actually tastes okay for a tin stew. There's not much meat in these, but we're more here for the dim sum anyway. Cheers. But this one's for you, Paddy Joe. This is my dim sum stew. Yum. It's interesting. The potato, you know, the real potato, the fresh potato, it does have a different texture. You know, you can basically tell in your mouth that it's like fresh compared to being sitting in a tin. To be honest, it actually tastes better than I thought. Anyway, here's our King Dim Sum. Look at that. Look at that. So what I'm going to do is obviously break it up and eat some with the stew. So I did oven bake it, but it does feel a little bit steamed as well. You know, as I'm breaking into it, it sort of has a soft exterior now. I think the dim sum is where a lot of this heat and steam is coming from. I'll try and put that down there just so the steam's not everywhere. So you can tell that is the dim sim. But this is the bite of the dim sim with the stew. Get a little bit more stew. Cheers. Now that is a lovely bite. This is actually pretty good. Hopefully some of you give this a try. Obviously, as I said, fresh stew would be lovely with this. But it's not bad jazzing up a tin stew and plonking in a couple of dim sims. So it does have a bit of a kick, but I absolutely funkin' love this. So here we have my second recipe. So here is the mee goreng stir fry with, yeah, you guessed it, the dim sims. So what did I do with this? I basically cooked some green capsicum with some onions. I stir fried that. Eventually I threw in some minced garlic and I threw in the poke, which was from part 1, the chicken dim sims. I tried that out. So I threw that into the stir fry mix. I cooked all of that up. After that was cooked a little bit more, I threw in some green beans. You know, I wanted them to be in there, but I didn't want to cook them as long as the rest of the stuff. Then I boiled up some of my favourite noodles. They are the Indomie mee goreng. Absolutely love these noodles. But I basically boiled them, and then I put them into the pan that I stir-fried all the veggies in. And I did add all the seasoning, you know, the fried shallots, all of that went into it. And then I added the veggies back, and then I added the dim sims. Oh, and also I almost forgot, I did cook an egg when I was doing the veggies. I put that to the side, cooked it, and then brought it into the veggies. But here we have it. Here it is. You see some of the dim sim on the side. You know, I just threw it into this bowl so you could see what's going on. There's a lot of food here. Let's give it a try. Cheers. I'll get a bite with the dim sim. I'll get a bite with, you know, like try and get all those veggies, the noodles. Let's give it a bit of a spin to get some of those noodles on the fork. It's not like when I order Maccas, Jackers and Clackers, you know, that always comes like basically cold. This is fresh, you know, and this is piping hot. And these recipes, I'm trying to make these recipes so, you know, they're quick and easy, and so the videos don't drag on forever, and sort of recipes you can make at home with just basic ingredients. That's what I'm trying to do with the dim sim. The dim sim is the main star of the show, and obviously they're just frozen, they're easy to get, they're in a box. This collaboration was to, let's see what crazy creations we can come up with a box of dim sims. And as I said, I wanted to make recipes that are quick and easy. And you know, you can make them with a few ingredients at home. So the instant noodles, the instant ramen, the mee goreng, you know, most people have them in a pantry, or, you know, you'll have whatever your favourite noodle is. You could even use beef and chicken, and then just a few veggies and stuff to make it, you know, a hearty meal and all that good stuff. But let's give this a try though. Cheers. Yum! Funkin' hell, that is good. Oh, and I did put a bit of MSG into the veggies as well, so it sort of probably gives it a little bit of umami flavour going on. The poke sauce is coming through, and that's a blend of soy sauce, sesame seed oil, and chili oil. I can taste hints of garlic in here. I can taste the mee goreng seasonings. You know, they're really nice. Mee goreng has a bit of a sort of onion taste to it. And obviously the fresh veggies just add this nice texture, crunch. The noodles aren't like too soft, you know, they still have a bit of a spring in their step. So I just oven cooked the dim sim, chopped it up, and obviously threw it into the stir fry at the end, just like you would do with other protein, chicken, beef, whatever. It was such an easy dish. So much flavour. Love this. But oh man, this is good. And I haven't got sick of dim sims yet. It just goes to show you, if you start getting bored with an ingredient, it's because you don't know what you're doing with it. You're not doing enough, you know, you're not being creative. These are cooked perfectly. That capsicum, it does have a little bit of a, you know, chew to it, but it's definitely soft, and it's not, you know, raw. And I love these Indomie noodles. Absolutely love them. And it really goes well with the other ingredients. Indomie, Indonesian, mee goreng sort of flavours. You get a little bit of the egg coming through. But I have to go and cook the last meal, so stick with me. I'll have one more bite with the big piece of dim sum. And let's get all those ingredients. Cheers. Seriously, guys, this is funkin' delicious. This is absolutely lovely. Alright, I can't wait forever for this glare, this sun to bugger off. So anyway, the recipe is, or what I made, is a burger. Now, I did forget the bacon, so I'll be honest, I was going to put bacon on this. I was going to do a bit of a, classic burger that Australians would have on a barbecue, You have a few beers, you have a few ingredients, and, you throw a few burgers on, you throw some onions on, some bacon, some egg. That's kind of what it is. And I will be honest, this was a bit annoying to do, and I wanted to use the meat. It didn't really stick together. I probably could have used an egg to bind it, but basically every time I shaped it, and then later on when I went to, use it, cook it or whatever, put it in the frying pan, basically, it kept it falling apart. So I put more oil on it. I put some oil, like tried to make it bind together with a bit of oil, flattened it back out, and then it started, like falling apart and sticking to the frying pan. Now, I realised I need a better frying pan, so if anyone wants to sponsor me, if anyone's watching that, makes frying pans or works in a place that wants to donate a frying pan, that would be lovely, because, yeah, it would have came out a lot better if I had a better frying pan. Normally, the burger is proud and on display, but, yeah, I kind of hid that under cheese and the onion and stuff. But yeah, basically what I did is made a patty from the inside of a dim sim. That was the idea. And I made some onions, so I just grilled some onions or caramelized some onions in the pan. I did add a bit of butter to it because it sort of makes them a little bit more creamy and stuff, I find. A good old cheese slice, and then I had a nice fried egg. Now the fried egg, I've made it so it's still gonna be yolky. And of course, I had to put some dead horse on it. For all the non-Australians out there, that's just tomato sauce, or ketchup or whatever you want to call it. What I basically wanted to do was crush the egg on camera. It's going to be a bit messy, this one. Who doesn't like a bit of a messy burger? Now, I did use a notch roll. I did do the roll in the frying pan, so, I put a bit of butter or margarine or whatever on it and sort of toasted it a bit in the frying pan. But yeah, basically if I had more time and if I was dedicating the video just to a burger, I would have tweaked it a bit more. I would have waited and bought some bacon or whatever. But hopefully you enjoyed all these Phunken hungry, crazy creations. But yeah, there's the burger. Obviously it doesn't look that appetizing, as I said, because of the, the dim sim buggered up a bit. But let's see if the dim sim works as a burger. I mean, you can't go wrong with egg, cheese and grilled onion, but let's see if the dim sim patty tastes nice with all these ingredients. There you go. Let's give it a try. The Phunken Hungry Crazy Creation King Dim Sim Challenge. And this is the dim sim burger. Cheers, everyone. Sorry. Oh, went all over my shirt. Sorry, children. There goes my nice clean jumper. Bugger. But yeah, this egg went everywhere, and I guess I was a twat and made it runny instead. Everyone loves a messy burger. I'm trying to keep it in frame and show you, and it just goes all over me. The sort of caramelization on the dim sim ingredients, on the inside, the filling of a dim sim, that caramelization from touching the pan has gave it a nice sort of texture and flavour. Definitely tastes like a dim sim. I'm disappointed that, and you can kind of tell it's falling apart a bit, but that dim sim meat tastes lovely as a burger. Definitely tastes like a dim sim burger. Sipping on tea like Kermit. But I have to say, when the dim sim patty was giving me a bit of grief, it didn't want to stick together, but it wanted to stick to the pan, and it started falling apart when I was flipping it. So I did try and hide it with the cheese and all that stuff. But I have to say, this is funkin' delicious, actually. It's a bit of a messy one. Obviously, I've got it all over my chin. I've got it all over my shirt. I've got it all over the neighbour's cat. But yeah, this is actually delicious, guys. I'm actually pretty impressed with this. Now, it's getting to the point that it's just falling apart. The egg, because it's so gooey. To say, these ingredients work lovely together. The dim sim, you can taste the dim sim meat. It's a dim sim. Goes so well with the cheese, the grilled onions, and the egg. The bacon would have set it off. The bacon would have been nice. But yeah, it works perfect. I'm actually pretty happy with this. Cheers. There you go, everyone. That is the Dim Sum Kings challenge completed. Anyway, I'm super pumped and keen to see what the other guys do with their King Dim Sims. There you go. Let me know in the comments if you're going to try any of these recipes. Let me know in the comments what you would do to Dim Sims. I might even do more videos in the future. You know, if you come up with a Phunken hungry crazy creation yourself, I might, you know, go and give it a try myself and maybe do a bit of a video on it. But I hope you enjoyed this epic video. This is G from Phunken Hungry, and I'll catch you next time. And I'm going to go and have to shower and wash myself.